I'm Dr. Bishesh Poudyal. I'm from Kathmandu, and I'm born and raised here in Kathmandu. And I choose hematology because there's a story behind it. So my father was an immunohematologist. He was a director of blood bank. So he was the one who really brought blood bank into Nepal, the concept of blood bank into Nepal, and he became a director of that. So he was very frustrated at that time when he started the blood bank because he saw a lot of leukemia patient and aplastic anemia patient coming there just for blood, and no one was treating them. So he was kind of frustrated, and every time, during the dinner time, then he used to tell me that, the people are not going to study hematology. Hematology has a big future in Nepal. People are just dying because they are not getting a proper treatment. They can't just afford to go abroad for the treatment, things like that. As a doctor, that you need to treat a patient, you need to cure a patient. So you treat a patient, a leukemia patient, a blood cancer patient, and then he or she gets well for 9 to 12 months, and then most of them they relapse. Not all the patients, but most of them they relapse. And when they relapse, you don't know what to do because that time we didn't have a transplant service in Kathmandu. So we need to send all these patients, refer all these patients to India or to Bangkok or to Singapore for the treatment. And those who can afford, they will go for the treatment. Those who can't, they just receive the palliative care. That really was a very sad part. And I thought it's a high time for us to start a transplant in the country, because you treat a patient and just in the midway, that when they get relapsed, then you tell them, okay, you don't have a treatment for that.
So there are a lot of challenges for the country. Patients are very often not presenting themselves for treatment early because of the costs and the difficulties in getting to locations to be treated. We provided the Optia recently to the first and only centre in Nepal that's able to do bone marrow transplants, or more accurately, peripheral blood stem cell transplants.
There were a lot of challenges while starting transplant. I did understand that if something goes wrong, if the patient dies, then they will stop the transplant forever. And as a doctor, you should do whatever you can do to save the life of the patient.
In other parts of the world, Nepal being one, the challenges are very different. The numbers of physicians able to prescribe therapeutic apheresis is very low.
I'm the only one who's doing a transplant in the country, and there's always a constant fear inside me, what if something goes wrong with me? My biggest challenge now, or biggest responsibility, is to train the other doctor for the transplant.
It's important that we keep on training his people, because getting skilled people in countries like Nepal is a challenge. So we have to keep on educating. We also have to do some education for the physicians as to how the value of the spectropia can be unlocked.
The better trained and the more confidence we can help his staff get, the better their outcomes are going to be, and the more transplants they're likely to do in Nepal as a result. And then that is obviously something that will have an impact on the numbers in the rest of the emerging markets. India is another area where we're putting a lot of effort to try and do just that. There is a huge potential in the Asia-Pacific region for growth. The population is growing, their economies are growing faster than anywhere else in the world, and they have a desire to provide better medical services to their population.
The number of patients are increasing rapidly, especially in hematology. When I joined, I used to see 5 to 15 patients a day. Now I see around 40 to 60 new patients a day. So people from all over Nepal are referred for the treatment over here. Our ward is so overcrowded, and now we usually don't admit other patients. Our ward is full of leukemia patients, blood cancer patients. So it has grown rapidly.
So our customers in emerging markets, what they need from us most really is a willingness to understand their perspective. It means spending time in those countries. It means really getting to understand why some of those practices that work so well for us in developed markets aren't applicable to the emerging markets. So as a company, one of the best ways that we can help customers such as Dr. Bishesh in emerging markets is to provide him with the service and support to be able to make his new apheresis centre a success. Provide his staff with the confidence they need in their new environment to actually be successful.
I would like to say thank you to all my associates who have contributed a lot in developing such a great technology which helps saving patients in countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar. So thank you so much.
We do make the best products in the world, and it has an impact on those customers and those patients every day.
We have I think we have a very good the support system. When anything goes wrong, that I can just call up Himanshu, and Himanshu will be there anytime.